Hi everyone. Happy Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Whatever day you get me, may it be a day that is filled with laughter, love, and light. And if it isn't, may you turn that story around and may something positive happen to you for the day. Now, I am Miss Sue, the woman behind Little Baby Campus or Little Baby Academy, depending on the channel that you get me. And I have been a home educator for the last 12 to 13 years. I work in my home and I love what I do. I have a passion for what I do, and I absolutely would not choose to do anything else at this point than what I'm doing, working with children. Wherever my career takes me, it has to be with working with children. So welcome in, and today I wanted to answer some questions because I was asked, Miss Sue, how do you plan your day? What are your activities like? And what should I be doing with my children? And my answer to that question is it depends on the season, it depends on the day, it depends on what's going on with me, my energy level, how it is the children are learning, it depends on that too. It depends on the theme that is carried from months or weeks before that comes on into the next week. So to answer the question, it really depends on what's going on, and those are like information that is stacked on, say the children's query. They've been learning with eggs for the last month or so, and we're still on this egg. And egg, because eggs, oviparous, anyone who lays eggs classified as oviparous. My accent is one of that, so maybe that's not your pronunciation. But with that query on eggs, we have been having such a blast because they're learning not only about chicks and dinosaurs, they're learning about sea creatures, octopus, they're learning about turtles, snakes, and they're the ones who are making this inquiry. And what's happening in our backyard is that we have a robin family that made a nest that the children observed, one, and two, laid three blue eggs, because robins, they lay blue eggs, and three, what was I, three, the eggs hatched. Come on, so tongue time. The eggs hatched. So yesterday, today is Sunday the 15th, May the 15th, Sunday, May the 15th, 2022. So yesterday, the 14th, there were two chicks in there, and there was one blue egg left. This morning, when I took a video of it, there were three chicks, so they all hatched. Now I'm hoping that they will make it, because last year what happened was an owl or a hawk or something went up there and took them out. So when I went back, there was an empty nest. I'm hoping that the nest will still have the chicks days to come, so that the children can observe that. And where it is up top on my ring light camera, because I have cameras all over my daycare. I have cameras inside, outside. Cameras are just, hey, you know how it is when we're taking care of children. It's important for us to have cameras inside and outside, so we can, for accountability and all of that, liability and all that. That's what we have insurance for. But just segueing from that to talk about cameras, that it's a must if you operate a daycare from home too, or whatever you call it, a play school daycare, in home. So back to the question, how do I plan the activities? It really depends on the children. Like this week, it was so warm that we were outdoors and we were doing a lot of mark making with our feet, walking bare feet in water and sidewalk chalk, and then stamping it all over, doing our handprints and magnetiles outdoors. We've been playing in the back. I put on the sprinkler, and they were outdoor also with swimwears, and so it all depends. And then for me, because I am 100% play-based, there is no traditional worksheet. Though gone are those days. That's gone from out of my philosophy, out of my program, and I do not do worksheets at all, none whatsoever. What I do I have coloring pages if they want, and if they color outside the line, okay, eventually they'll get it, We do a lot of Play-Doh. We do a lot of fine motor activities. And those fine motor activities are, those are what will strengthen their fingers for that grip, you know, the tripod grip, whatever grip that they need to have for their finger, for their pencil holding and shading and coloring anyhow. And the children in my care, they really have good tripod grips anyhow, even from age 2, because we do so many fine motor activities, picking up Cheerios, playing with Play-Doh, you know, making portraits, a lot of loose parts that we have in our environment. So again, the weekly activities, it depends. We go on a lot of walks, and those spatial skills of learning with the dandelion, learning with everything that is out there in their environment, that's where they're also learning about shapes and colors and the smell of how winter smells different from summer, how spring smells different from, you know, they're learning with the animals that are running on the barbed wire, and shapes are all around us, color is all around us. So I don't have the traditional circle time where you sit and talk about 1, 2, 3. We're counting when we're coming down the stairs, we're counting when we're washing our hands, we're counting when we're going outside. So it's part of my learning environment. So for me, there's no need for us to sit down and say, okay, this is the A, because it's all around us and they'll learn it anyhow. And my letters and are always around us. So if they'll come to me and they're like, Miss Sue, what is this letter? And we're like, it's the A, and they run back and tell their friends, and it's a whole learning. Now, one thing I can say is my children, the children in my care, I'm sorry, I'm distracted by the rubbing, trying to get worms for the babies. Sorry about that. But one thing I can say, the children in my environment, they're so curious. It's not a traditional environment where they're only learning depending on what's on paper. We're reading so many books and we read so many stories. And one of the things that my environment is rich in is books. Books are everywhere. You know, the funny thing that happened this week was I had 2 little ones that were fighting over this book, the Gruffalo. And if you know the story, you know how good this story is. My children love this story and I read it to them every day. And they know even what's a Gruffalo. Why didn't you know? He has purple prickles all over his back. His eyes are orange. His tongue is black. So the children they're always eager to hear the stories when I read it to them. And that is also a lesson. What else can I say for our lessons? We do a lot of arts. Maybe it's process art. I used to do product art where you're making a pumpkin, no longer do I do that. It's making art their own in their art. So it's a totally different way of doing activities in my care. Again, we have a lot of loose parts. I'm always changing out that area. The outdoor is a classroom for us. We're always outdoors, and messy play is part of what I do. I am big on that sensory play. It's my children, or I think children come alive when they can just relax in muddy puddles and they can just do anything in muddy puddles. They can get messy and then I hose them down. Now, the wonderful thing about my play space is I only have 6 children at any given time. So I'm 1 to 6. And when I say 6 children, I mean like 6 children that I take care outside of my 2, which are sufficient. They can deal with their own, whatever they bring to the table. They know how to cook, they know how to take care of themselves. So because of my small environment, I'm able to do so many things for the children, so many activities, so many learning, and so much fun. Now, for an environment where you have maybe 12 children or so, then it also may be a little bit more challenging, even though it's 12 to 2, because you're trying to work with the cohesion of that co-teacher, that assistant, and if you and that person aren't synchronizing together, it may not be a good result for the children. All right, so I won't be long with this video because it's 9:44, so I'm running over. But the way that I teach, or the way that we have lessons in our environment, is really going with the flow of the children, going with what they're curious about, going with what the day feels like for them. Because sometimes I was like, kids, it's time to go outside and they just want to do magnetiles. They want to be underneath the table. They want to do some different schema, transportation, envelope, gathering, whatever the schema is, and then the play cycle. We all know how a play cycle is. Sometimes the play cycles go on and on and on, and moving with the direction of the children is more harmonious for me. It's less stress, less behavioral issues. And for me, it just works better because I work by myself. Another fortunate thing for me also in my play environment is, thank you Lord, I am at the stage where it's only one nap now. So the youngest one in my care, I think, is like 18 months. Is it 18 or 16 months? And for him, it's one nap too. So I'm down to one nap where I'm not working overtime with children who are taking 2 naps and being up when the others are napping, because I have to tend to the baby during that nap time. So for me, there's just this beautiful harmony that is going on in my play space right now that is just beautiful because of the age. They have aged out, and it makes it much easier, if I can use that word, because some people may say it's never easy, but for me, it makes it more manageable, I hope I answered that question, because I have a tendency of ratting on, and if I didn't answer the question, then feel free to just say, you know what, Miss Sue, the question is unanswered, but I hope I did. All right, again, it's Miss Sue from Little Baby Campus. Love and light, and whatever you do, may love be part of how you teach, how you envelope, how you hug, how you lean in. The children are leaning on us, and may we also lean on them. Have a great one. Again, whatever you do it with love, and I will see you on the next video. All right, bye-bye now.